How do? Time for another beer review. We are going back to dry January. Well, in fact, we're doing a little bit more than dry January this time. We're also doing Veganuary. This is Bosh AF, and it's a collab between Brewdog and Bosh. So it's an alcohol-free beer, 0.5% in a 330ml can. Can art is absolutely on point. From a distance, that looks like a Brewdog collab beer. You may have seen Brewdog versus Cloudwater in Tesco, for instance, and the artwork, the styling is pretty much the same. So Bosh are a plant-based food producer, and so Brewdog's done a collab with them. Tells you a little bit on the back of the can about Bosh, about Brewdog. So it says Bosh AF. It says, if you think vegan equals bland and low alcohol equals low taste, think again. We made an awesome vegan beer and left the alcohol out, brimming with specialty malts and North American hops, bitterness in front and centre. Squeezing this many hops in and the alcohol out is this collab's master stroke. So, see what we get. I've had a few Brewdog AF beers over the years. I think the Punk AF is alright for an alcohol-free beer. Same with the Hazy AF and the Wake Up Call. I think they're okay. So we'll see what we get with this one. So, being a glass, that's a brown chestnut colour. Steady carbonation going up to a off-white. Very creamy looking head. That head looks fantastic. It's hanging around. Yeah, a little bit of a knobhead paw, but it's got decent legs on it. Get the nose. Wow. We've got piney, big pine bitterness coming off on the aroma. Grapefruit, touch of caramel. Smells really, really good. And it looks the part. So, fingers crossed for this one. Right, let's dive in. Cheers, everybody. Okay. So, body wise, it's got a cracking body for an AF beer. I would say it's borderline thick. It's got a real creaminess about it. It's got a really, really good body, and the head retention on that looks fantastic. So, in terms of body, brilliant. Flavour wise, it's a malt forward IPA. Bit like, and it reminds me of Nanny State, if you've had Brewdog's Nanny State before. So I'm getting a lot of malt, I'm getting a touch of toffee caramel, I'm getting this grapefruit and big, big pine bitter finish, and it lingers. Getting a little bit of toffee coming out in the aftertaste. This bitterness is hanging around as I'm talking. I can still taste the bitterness. As you swallow the drink, it kind of like cloys your mouth and it coats the back of your throat. And the mouthfeel as you swallow it, it's a little bit unpleasant and, like I say, a little bit sticky. It goes in, it's a little bit of dryness there. I don't like the aftertaste. I think they've done a cracking job with the can art. I think they've done a cracking job with getting the body and the head retention. I think they've obviously packed it with hops, as it says on the can. They've done a really good job there. I just don't like the aftertaste, and I'm not the biggest fan of Nanny State, and there is a lot of hallmarks of Nanny State for me sadly coming out on this. So for me, I would much rather drink Punk AF or Hazy AF. This has got a better body than those beers, but it just doesn't have this aftertaste, which I'm finding a little bit unpleasant. So for me, sadly, I'm not going to recommend this one. But if you like Nanny State, I think you're onto a winner with this beer. So it's horses for courses. for me, it's not to my taste buds, but I totally appreciate that there'll be a lot of people out there who will like this beer. So that is Bosh AF, a collab between Brewdog and Bosh. So I'll add that to my Brewdog playlist where you can see some other Brewdog beers and Brewdog Overworks beers. So thank you for watching and on to the next one.